Hi, this is Don Deems, the Dentist Coach. Thanks for stopping by for the Dentist Coach Insider Strategies. I hope you'll find today's insider strategy useful in your life and practice. My best wishes to you. Hi, this is Dr. Don Deems, the Dentist Coach, and I'm here to talk about team meetings. Do they really need to be bummers? Well, you know, after 30 years of having almost monthly staff meetings myself, I would have to say that it can be a real challenge. There are some things that you should know about team meetings to get started to make them more effective. The first thing is ask yourself, you know, how enthusiastic are you about team meetings? You know, your team watches your every single move, and if you are acting like you dread it, they're going to dread it too. Another point that I'd like to make is that many doctors don't take the time to prepare properly for a team meeting. They just look on it as, gosh, this is some time I need to spend with team meeting because there's been so much written about it, so I need to do one. Well, they're really not worth your time or trouble to do one if you're not going to really accomplish anything. So there's a couple things that you can do to get started to have at least a reasonably good team meeting. The first thing is to always have an agenda. In other words, know what you're going to talk about. Don't go into there and say, okay, so what are we going to talk about? Because I guarantee it's going to go south in a big hurry. Now, what are the things that you can talk about? Well, the first thing that I would suggest that you do is probably a week or so in advance is ask your team what sort of things would they like to see on the team meeting agenda. Make a list of what those are and make sure that you're going to cover those during the team meeting. Obviously, there are going to be some basic things such as what's working and what's not, right? As well as brainstorming sessions. Now, a little tip I'll tell you about brainstorming sessions is that most dental team members aren't very good at brainstorming, all right? They're good at following through on ideas and or coming up with ways to do something. But if you're looking for brainstorming, you're going to have to take a different approach. You might want to watch for an article which will appear in the Academy of General Dentistry's journal Impact, where I talk about this very topic. Now, what are other things that you can do in order to have a more effective team meeting? Well, another thing is don't let your team meeting become a complaining session, right? People just hate that. It's like somebody starts complaining about this, somebody complains about that. Whatever you do, it needs to stop. It doesn't need to be a complaining session. If somebody wants to have a complaint, then you need to step in right away and say, this is not a complaining session. Make the issue about the problem and not the person, okay? So if somebody's complaining about something, take away the person part of it and make it really about the problem, and then how do we go about solving that problem? Another element that I would have to say is make your meetings as fun as you possibly can. Adults' learning spans are really short, actually about 6 minutes, believe it or not. So if you think that you're going to get them to pay attention to you for 1, 2, or 3 hours while you talk at them, you've got another thing coming. They're not going to do very well at that. And plus, whatever you do say, they're probably going to forget anyway. So don't do it. Look at doing a variety of activities and topics. Maybe use audio-visual stuff, anything that you can. Maybe even invite outside people to come in who can facilitate a meeting for you, making it something that's fun and interesting. So, you know, begin thinking outside the box. It's just a time that we're going to sit down and work through the trenches on whatever's going on. Those typically are not very productive, and your team will soon come to hate them. Lastly, when you do end a team meeting, make sure that you have a plan, all right, and that there is accountability set up. It's a really good idea to have somebody take notes during the meeting, and then as quickly as possible afterwards get those notes to you so that you can review them to make sure everything is correct, and then get them out to everybody. For years and years and years, I kept meeting notes, and when I went back and looked over them, how many times did we go and just repeat the same things that we did a year ago, right? You probably experienced that. A lot of the same problems over and over, but nothing ever changes. So think about, how can you make them change? Well, there's got to be accountability. You got to follow up at the next team meeting to see what's going on. There may even need to be follow-up during the regular team meetings, or in between the team meetings, excuse me. So I hope you'll take the time to read through the short blog, and I hope that it provides you some information to get started to have better team meetings. And if you have questions, would like some input, please feel free to contact me. So thanks again for joining me on the Dentist Coach Insider Strategies. Thanks for watching today's Insider Strategy. I hope to see you around for future videos. If you have a comment, would like to ask me a question, or have a topic you'd like to see me talk about, please leave your comments in the box below. Thanks again, and my best wishes to you.